So by now, I'm sure you figured out that, on this channel, we're quite the fans of serial killers and psychopaths, or at least the fine work they do in Fallout 4. Many examples exist in the Commonwealth. To some, Pickman is the most famous one, but to most, one other person, or place, I suppose, takes the cake. The Milton Parking Garage, or, as it is more famously known, the Death Maze. A quaint abode tucked away in a car park, near the Fallon department store and opposite the Milton General Hospital. Let's take a gander. Outside, but one door initially provides us entry, with many arrows pointing to it. It's very discreet. Many more arrows like this can be found throughout. Some point to freedom and some to fuckery. Speaking of which, on the right here we find the first example of it. The severed head of some poor bastard, laid out in display, next to their barbed wire skewered corpse. A bottle of Bob Rov's best moonshine is found as well, all illuminated by an exit sign, perhaps meant to mean that they did in fact get out, though by dying rather than finding the exit. Perhaps the individuals who made the moonshine were involved, though we'll talk about that at the end. In this corner opposite the display, a tripwire marks another arrangement, this time just a simple question mark, perhaps meant to be the reward for your curiosity, or something else entirely. It's not the last time we shall see this sign. This next room contains a lot of rad roaches and another tripwire. Now, I'm not sure if it's this one, or the one near the question mark that triggers it. However, something sets off a large explosion that chains into the next display over, so be careful of that. The next arrow points us to possibly the worst display in the entire fucking garage. Mannequins! It was always going to happen. This is also the display the chain explosion affects, possibly further creeping you out as it leaves them in literal pieces. Which is a good thing, in my opinion. Behind them is a room with many radioactive barrels in it. The build-up starts off small and then spikes when you get to the dead end, as if mocking you, or maybe rewarding. There are radaway supplies in here if the radiation build-up got too much for you. Then we come to this lovely door system, which I'm sure stumped many of you, as it did me. As you can see, some of the buttons control more than one of the doors, just to make it extra special fun. The code is 1232. Coming out of there and going straight ahead we come to a very abrupt end, and these annoying signs tell us just that. So whoever set all this up clearly likes taunting people, or fucking with them. Following this corridor we come to another tripwire set in between a few boxes, and a lovely set of severed heads to distract us. Once again they've been displayed beside their bodies, though this time different means was used to prop them up. A meat hook and a stake. Lovely. Opposite these, and round to the right, we come to a Grinch-like turret, hoarding a Christmas tree all to themselves. As we can see, the gift of Jet has been left underneath, following holiday tradition, and a lovely head makes the perfect star, or angel depending on your traditions. Say what you want, this psycho had a keen eye for decoration. Just next to that is this fucking room. You walk in and every single monkey lights up, demonic eyes judging your very soul. I was actually expecting them to blow up, as it looks like they're wired to, but no, nothing happened, thank the Lord. You know, except a considerable amount of mental scarring. Back on the original passage route, we come to the trap guarding the next floor, a tripwire that leads to many rig scales, which when activated detonate various bouquets of grenades hanging from the ceiling just a little further up. Perhaps meant as a last line of defense from fat people? Or just because they were a dickhead. Next up is a series of boxes laid out to form paths, and you guessed it, they have tripwires rigged up. These trigger a rocket launcher that can either inflict a lot of damage or kill if it's a direct hit. It's set up in the back of a burned out truck just opposite the trap, and the tools that may have been used to set it up are still here. Also, keep in mind that super mutants may notice you from outside, so you might want to dispatch them before coming in here, or you know, be sneaky, as they can be a pain otherwise. At the end of this corridor is another shitty dead end sign, and a lot of fuel on the ground. It can all be set on fire by this pistol, so, you know, be careful. This actually leads back to just beside the car, near the rocket launcher trap, and the tripwire is triggered here. If we go back to following the original path, by hugging the wall all the way round, we come to a platform overlooking the fat person's scale trap. It tells us to go back at first, but this time, curiosity is rewarded instead of punished for once, with some goods. Back around behind that platform, we come to this area marked by 3 X's, and it leads to nothing? Or does it? First time I came here, I swore to God there was a Brahmin, and I think it was here, and there is nowhere else it could have come from. How the person that made all this got it in here and made it stay is beyond me, but stay it did. Well, at least it sort of did. It was roaming around when I got here the first time. I don't know where it is now. You can then follow the path to the next ramp that will take us up to the next floor. So it's quite ominously lit at the start by a single gas lamp, and the reason is that it draws your eye and distracts you. But from what? Well, if we follow the path around instead of taking the one to the left of the lamp, we pass a lot of blood and barbed wire because interior design. But we will also find feral ghouls, usually a few leveled ordinary ones and a leveled glowing one. The gaps are covered in barbed wire, most likely to keep these ghouls inside. The main question is how they got here in the first place. Frankly, it's a question that's going to come up a lot more times in this video. A little further on from these ones, we come to more, though not dead by my hand. Also, these ones are all giraffe ghouls. By that I mean the necks. Now, usually this bug happens when you kill one, its neck gets unnaturally long for some reason. However, I haven't seen it before with placed corpses, and certainly not so many of them. It raises the question why they are all like this, and what killed them. Perhaps it was the roaming Brahmin, or someone else got lucky enough traversing this thing and managed to kill a few of them. Who knows? Next, we take the final ramp of the maze up to the last floor. So at the top is another scale room, with some tripwires thrown in. This time it's Tesla traps dotting the ceiling, ready to shock the arse off you. I think there might have also been some grenades as well, triggered by the trip mines. I'm not sure if I picked them up on my first run through of this place or not. At the end is a latch door that leads to the department store. The creator of the maze probably closed it off to prevent people getting in from this floor. They may have used it to access the department store for goods, and it may also have been used to keep the super mutants out. Down this corridor to the right, we come to these 3 doors, 2 trapped and 1 not. Door number 3 has a pipe pistol trap rigged up to the door that goes off when you open it, because fuck your curiosity. Door number 1 has a Tesla coil trap that, as you can see, caught me out, because I am a moron and was not being careful. Behind door number 2 is this sexy bastard, just waiting for you to arrive, and in my case, almost made me shart myself. Explosive marks can be found in this room, suggesting somebody got this far only to set them off, possibly causing their demise in the process. These rig bombs we can see in the wall are most likely the same ones that caused the blast marks behind us, so watch out for them as you move up. The next room has yet more skewered heads, this time with at least one person missing the body it belongs to. And the signs tell us it's a dead end. Well, fuck those signs. If we ignore them, we come to the entrance to this room. This was most likely the room of the creator of the maze. As layers go of, psychopaths and serial killers, it's not as fucked up as you would expect, and some supplies that were probably going to be distributed out in the maze are present here as well. There's also a boarded up door with stairs that lead up above it, but we'll get to that at the end. We can find more body parts strung up at the opposite end as well, as if they expected it to ward people off. Opposite that, we come to the true treasure of the maze, and fitting with what we have seen thus far, it too is booby-trapped. Each switch will open its respective door, however it would also trigger the flamethrower in the opposite cage, setting off explosives and blowing up the items in it. So in the end you have to make a choice of what loot you want, and lose that which you don't pick. Going to the left of these cages, we come to the last door that, when unlocked, leads up to the roof, which is accessible from the hospital. It looks like some barricades were already being placed here, and we can see the boarded up door from their room, as well as the makeshift stairs they built as well, giving them access to the walkway leading to the hospital. They may have scavenged there for supplies. From what they already set up on the roof, there is a chance they meant to add another floor of the maze up here. The Milton Parking Garage, more famously known as the Death Maze, a 4-floor shit show of traps, bombs, creepy displays and gore. The bodies that we do find here are likely the remains of raiders and traders that came here, which may explain the Brahmin. The bodies seem to be a warning, but the signs and supplies invite people to venture deeper and satisfy their curiosity. This is mirrored in some of the traps and supplies. Some punish that curiosity, while others reward it, though it's mostly down to the choice on which area you choose to indulge, which culminates in the end when you have to make a choice for your prize. I have no idea how they managed to contain the ghouls and Brahmin, while at the same time preventing them from setting off any of the various traps. Perhaps they used some sort of black art. As for where they are now, who knows? Perhaps as they were out scavenging or building their maze on the roof, the super mutants got to them, killing them in the process. Who they were is the real question. The only real piece of evidence that I see is the Bobrov's best moonshine. We know it's made by two brothers, Vadim and Yefim, in Diamond City. However, it's odd that it's the only named object linking to anyone in this place, and is also found behind one of the corpse sculptures. Perhaps the two brothers were in some way involved. Or perhaps our mystery murderer and death maze decorator just liked a bit of moonshine to quench their thirst as they hung up corpses. The creepiest garage in all of the Commonwealth. I hoped you'd like this look at all of it. If you did like it, give the video a like. And if you want regular updates, subscribe. Any suggestions for lore or future videos should be left in the comments below. Better yet, go onto my subreddit so we can discuss them in more detail. It's linked in the description. If you wish to, you can support me on Patreon. £1 or $1, I ask for no more. If there are any rewards you would like to see that I don't have, please send me your suggestions and I'll take them into consideration. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook to get regular updates or have a wee chat. Any business you wish to discuss, email me at thenthapple.business@gmail.com and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.